This is a video for the staff at Grenier & Richards. I will show you how to use Bridge and Photoshop to rescale multiple images at the same time. And you can do other things as well, such as adjust brightness or whatever, but I'm just going to show you the simplest form, which is rescaling. So you should run Bridge first, and I use the 64-bit version if you have both installed. And Bridge basically gives you a type of file browser that lets you preview images, so you'll have different favorites here. If you're regularly using a certain folder, you could drag a folder over to your favorites to be able to access it quickly later on. But I'm going to use just a folder in my pictures. So there are different ways of viewing in Bridge as well, different types of layouts that you can select from. In Essentials, you'll probably have something like this. Here you can change the size of your thumbnails. And just like in Windows Explorer, you can either select an individual image by left clicking, or you can hold down the Control button on your keyboard and select randomly and deselect to get the images you want. Or if you just want to do everything, you can select the first one, hold down the Shift button on your keyboard and select the last one. Then once you've got all of the images selected that you want to rescale, you go to Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor. So that's not very intuitive. You'll have to write that down or remember that. Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor. Then it'll open up Photoshop and it gives you this image processor form that you have to fill out. So the obvious things to do here are to set the quality that you want. I think this is from 1 to 12, and 8 or 9 is usually good enough. Here you'll set your maximum width and your maximum height, and it'll make it fit inside of that. So you could say I want it to be at the most 800 on either the width or the height. And then you can select a folder to output it to, or you can just say save it in the same location. If you select save it in the same location, it's actually going to create a subfolder called JPEG and put them in there. Generally, the other default settings are fine. You can leave them the way they are, and you just click run, and it'll start opening them up and resizing them one at a time. Then you can minimize or close Photoshop, and you'll be back in Bridge, and you'll notice now that you have this JPEG folder. So our original images were, if you're in the Essentials view, you've got some metadata here, which includes the resolution, the dimensions. So these were originally 1920 by 1080. If you go into the JPEG folder now and select an image, you'll see that it's set to 800 by 450. And so obviously if it were a portrait image that was taller, then it would set the height to be 800 and the width to whatever the corresponding resolution is. And you can learn the rest of Bridge just by playing around with it. Double clicking generally will open it up in Photoshop. You've got a preview window over here. You can change the size of things if you want. And that's it. Hope this is helpful.